Hey guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you a bit of a different video. It's one I've been wanting to do for quite a long time, and this is a booktuber shout out video. However, I'm doing it a little bit differently than the usual booktuber shout outs that you find, mostly because I struggle to enjoy watching them, so I wanted to make one that I know that I would have enjoyed watching myself. Not that any of your booktuber shout out videos are like irrelevant or anything, but what interests me most are books and personalities when I'm watching a booktuber. So what I've decided to do in this video is that I'm going to shout out 10 different booktubers who talk to me a lot, who I love watching their videos and such, and I'm going to say something about their personality, and I'm going to recommend them a book that I think matches what they usually like to read. So that means that you get to know what kind of books you would see on their channel as well, and you know, you should definitely check out all these 10 people because they are just frankly wonderful. This is not the only booktuber shout out I would do, and if you enjoy this, please let me know in the comment section down below because I'll be doing more. Now let's get right onto the booktubers and the books. So in no particular order, the first one that I'm going to mention is Jade from Jaded Reader. I randomly discovered her channel and I'm so glad. There's something about her voice that is just so calming to me and is quite unique. Maybe that's just because I'm not American, I don't know the state that she like comes from and her accent or whatever, but she's so sweet. I love that she loves her cats and animals generally, and we also kind of have the same taste in a lot of things, so it means that her book recommendations are something that I can really trust. And for her, she's seen me mention this book on my channel before. I'm going to recommend, if you can see it, The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. I remember in her reading vlog she recently read this like manga graphic novel that kind of wasn't too kind to the treatment of bees, unnecessarily so, but she has a big heart for animals and even bees, even though I see them as an insect, so a little bit creepy. I do appreciate them because they are kind of, you know, saving our life here and we're kind of making them extinct. But anyway, The Secret Life of Bees is a beautiful book with a lovely message, and in this one, this girl goes to live on this bee foundation with these 3 black women who look after these bees, and the descriptions of nature and the bees in this one are so beautiful that I think she would really love reading it, and I loved reading it too. Seeing as we generally have the same taste, you know, Jade, you should read this. The next booktuber I'm going to mention is Ashley from A Frolic on Fiction. I can't even remember how I discovered her, but as soon as I discovered her, I went and followed her on Instagram, Twitter, her channel and everything. I absolutely loved her videos. I love her accent. And it was so great because she kind of probably noticed that I'd suddenly stalked her all over the place, and she kind of followed me back and started talking to me, which was just so great for me back then because I was this small little booktuber like looking up to her like, ooh, she probably doesn't know this. Anyway, so she reads a lot of fantasy. She loves V.E. Schwab, and I don't know how to pronounce that, but she loves fantasy, but she also reads quite a lot of literary fiction, and I think she's read more fantasy than me, so I can't recommend anything there. But for literary fiction, I'm going to recommend to her The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel, which is one of my favourite books, and I don't mention it enough. It's set in this city where it's swelteringly hot. The summer is intense, and there's a priest who invites in the newspaper an ad saying, I would love the devil to come to my house, I want to talk to the devil. And this little boy shows up with green eyes and he says, hi, I'm the devil, you've invited me here to stay and I'm going to be here. Of course, the members of the town are not that happy with that. However, this one kind of manifests in this really unique way, and it raises questions of good and bad and whether evil is something that's, you know, a being or an entity that kind of infects us, or whether we have evil inside of ourselves. And it's so interesting to see everyone's reactions to this little boy claiming to be the devil. The writing is amazing. Like, you read this book and you literally sweat because you feel like you're in the heat and in that sweltering place. It's an absolutely phenomenal book, and it's got some very deep themes in there as well, but I don't want to spoil anything for you, but you should definitely read this one, Ashley, and basically all of you guys watching this as well. Next up, I'm going to mention Madison Greene. She is a channel that I recently discovered when I was just looking for new booktubers to watch who were quite small. Of course, her channel is growing, but she's great, and she really reads a lot of contemporary as far as I can see. I don't know what contemporary to recommend to her because I'm not a huge contemporary reader, but if she hasn't read More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, I think that she would really enjoy this one. It deals with this main character who has been struggling to be happy. He has attempted to commit suicide in the past, and he is just trying to find happiness, and he thinks that he's found it with his best friends, with his girlfriend who's really nice, and he thinks he's okay. But then this boy comes to his block and things start changing and he starts changing. So I'm not telling you a lot about this one, and it's just an amazing book. I'm not spoiling anything when I say that you will probably cry, because it's not like the grand reveal at the end that's going to make you cry. It's literally everything that happens in this book is going to make you cry. It's a character-driven book with a plot twist. Those are very rare to find, and it's just a very emotionally deep book, but it's also contemporary and it's got some romance in there. So I think that Madison might like this one. I'm going to talk about Cara from Wild Book Garden. She is, again, I don't know how I find these people. I think I spend a lot of time looking up new booktubers to watch, and I just try one of their videos and we sometimes get talking and watching each other's videos. But Cara is just lovely. She writes comments, like every time I go and comment on someone's video and I'm looking through the comments, because that's just the thing that I do, I see Cara. She's there. She's been there already. So she just comments a lot, but she also reads a lot of fantasy. She reads middle grade, she reads historical fiction, and that's what I see a lot on her channel. But she reads a lot of unknown books, which is great if you want to get some like low-key amazing fantasy recommendations or low-key amazing historical fiction recommendations. But one thing that I've seen that she reads that I don't see in a lot of booktubers is that she reads poetry as well, and I love that she reads poetry. And if I had to recommend a poetry collection to her, I'd recommend The Black Unicorn by Audre Lorde. Audre Lorde is one of my favourite poets. She's a black LGBT plus poet, and she's female, and I just love her words. I love the deeper themes that she goes into, and she also has some great essays about relating to femininity and poetry and being black and poetry, and I just think that maybe Cara would appreciate her writing, so I'm recommending that one to her. And we've got Serena from A Wandering Mind. Rina is one of the first booktubers that I started watching when I started to watch booktube, and she reads a lot of different kinds of books. I find it very hard to pinpoint a genre to her, but she does a lot of tags, so you get to see all the different types of books that she reads. And recently she put out a video about what she wants to do in 2019, her bookist resolutions, and one of them was to read more minority authors. And responding to that, I recommended her Pride by Ibiza Boy, because I've seen that she reads contemporary as well, so I think she might like the romance aspect of this. But then again, this one is an all-black cast, so you get that minority representation. It follows this Latinx black family, so you get Latinx rep in there too, and it deals with black themes like gentrification, living in the hood, education, and just different elements of oppression that are kind of threaded through the romance. So I think that she would like this one and be able to take a lot away from it. Then we're going to move on to Jessie from Bowties and Books. So Jessie randomly commented on one of my videos, which is like weird because I'm just like this small booktuber and they are this amazing booktuber. So when Jessie commented on my video, I was like, I'm gonna go check out their channel, and their channel was amazing. And Jessie also has this great cat called Ravenclaw, and I love seeing their relationship with their cat. It's just brilliant. It just makes me smile every time I see it in a video. So Jessie recently did a video about black trauma porn and how they want to read more books with happy black characters. Just having, you know, going about their normal slice of life, having a nice relationship. And Jessie also reads a lot of LGBT plus fiction. And I'm going to recommend to them American Dreamer by Adriana Herrera, which I'm currently reading right now. So I can't say it's going to stay amazing, but so far I really like it. It's a new adult romance where there's this, I believe, Latinx male character who falls for this black Latinx male character. So you've got this MM romance going on, brilliant descriptions of food, and watching Jessie's vlogs, they know how to cook some good food with some seasoning and proper cooking, like makes me happy seeing that in their vlogs. So I think they would really like this book, and I just had to recommend that one. And we've got Vendi from Caught Between the Pages. I randomly stumbled across her channel and she's just so great. She also loves to write like me, so it's nice to see a bit of writing and booktube combined in the videos. For Caught Between the Pages, for Vendi, I'm going to recommend Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I'm recommending Heartless because she did this video where she was baking and talking about a book, and this like book in relation to baking. And in this book, the main character wants to be a baker, and so there's some really great descriptions of delicious sweet food. And the villain, like the villain arc, because it's a like a villain origin story for how the Red Queen became the Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland, because there's that great villain done, and I think that Vendy would like seeing this brilliant character arc, like seeing a villain become a villain but not be a villain to start out with. And I would love if she did a video where she made a baked good that's mentioned in that book. It would make my year if she did that. I hope you're watching this. And we've got Lily Eleanor Reads. I discovered her via somebody else shouting her out on Twitter, and I really love her channel because she just reads so diversely. She reads a lot of LGBT plus fiction, and she reads a lot of contemporary. I watch a lot of contemporary readers, even though I don't read contemporary like crazy, but I read everything, so it's nice to get some really good recommendations from her. What I would recommend to Lily, I find it very hard because she's read a lot of LGBT plus fiction, and I'm probably going to mention one that she's already read, but I'm going to mention The Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin. This is one I read when I was a very young book blogger, like when I was 13 and 14, and in this one there's a gender fluid character, and it was my first encounter with gender fluidity that I'd ever had. I never knew that that could be a thing. I never knew that there was someone in my school who was actually gender fluid. I didn't know that at the time because they were not out, but now I know. But yeah, it was just really like mind-blowing to me, and I thought it was just a really good book as well, so I'm recommending it to Lily Eleanor if she has not read that one already. We've got MarianaCasada. I might be saying your last name wrong. I'm very sorry, Marianne, if that's the case. But I am someone who has been going to Spain for the past 2 years. I've lived there a month each time because I au pair there. And my Spanish learning just goes like, when I'm there, it goes up because nobody speaks English and I have to use my Spanish. I have to understand Spanish, and I literally start thinking in Spanish. And then I come back to England and it just goes down. And I'm trying to actually learn this year, even though it's not going well yet, but I would like to learn. And one of the ways that I did that was by starting to watch some Spanish booktubers, which is great, and she was one of the ones I started watching. Her videos are all in Spanish, but she always has English subtitles, so don't let a foreign language like stop you from watching her videos, because she's amazing. She does amazing readathons, and she also does great vlogs. She reads a lot of fantasy and sci-fi, so again I found it hard to recommend one to her that she hasn't already read, but I don't know if she's read Red Rising by Pierce Brown, because this one is a sci-fi, but I feel like it's one of those sci-fis that has elements that you often find in fantasy, which makes it really good. Like, it's like a cross one, but it's generally sci-fi, and it is so amazing. The world building is brilliant, which is why I'm recommending it to Mariana, because she seems to like books with very good world building. The characters are really great, and I was just addicted when reading this one, so maybe you will be too, Mariana. And last but not least, I'm going to mention Rachel Marie, Book Junkie. And Rachel Marie is someone who grew really rapidly in the booktube community, and I thought, you know, I gotta watch her videos. And then I followed her on Twitter, and she followed me back, and we've kind of had some like conversations on Twitter which have been really nice, and I find her voice so calming. But in her wrap-ups, she's one of the few people I see who also reads non-fiction like I do, and I really appreciate that, because we need some more non-fiction readers here on booktube. And for her, I'm going to recommend a non-fiction book, and that is The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. I don't know that this one was chosen for, I think it was Emma Watson's book club, so I got it because of another book, because in this other book called In Search of Us by Ava Delaria, the author mentions Joan Didion's essay, so I was like, I'm going to read a Joan Didion essay, which I did, and it was a novel actually, and it was amazing. It really deals with grief, and it's this year where Joan Didion's husband has passed away, and she's trying to deal with this grief, but she also kind of has this idea that he's not really dead, and she really does a lot of research into grief and dealing with it and everything, and I just thought it was amazing. And it's like non-fiction that could almost read like fiction, so I'm recommending that to Rachel Marie. And there you guys have it. Those are 10 booktubers whose videos I try to never miss. I'm always behind on my watch later list, but I try never to miss a video of theirs, and they are the most loveliest people. Honestly, they are all lovely, and you should definitely check out their channels. Links to all of them down below. Please go and watch them, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know in the comment section down below who's a booktuber that I should be checking out so I can add more to my list. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.